Guys, I'm going to do question 6 for you. Now, question 6 says, solve the equation theta in radians. So once it's in radians, degrees won't get me any marks. For 1 theta element r and 2 theta less than 2 pi over 2 pi. Okay? So, sorry? That?
No,
theta.
it's like between 0 and then theta and then 2 pi.
Theta. Okay? Because 0 less than 0 would make no sense. Okay? So, here we start off, okay? Once again, draw your unit circle. Okay? And then we're going to have our diagram here and here. Now guys, starting off, cos is negative. Which two quadrants are we talking about when cos is negative?
First one,
No, first one everything is positive. In the second one only sine is positive. In the third one only tan is positive. And in the fourth one only cos is positive. Which two ones are we using for this question? Sine and tan. Because in sine and tan only sine is positive and tan is positive. Cos is negative in both of them. Okay? That's what S and T means. Only sine is positive or only cos positive. We can rub out these and worry about this. We're talking about rule 2 and rule 3. Rule 2 is 180 minus reference number. And rule 3, how much? 180 plus reference. Now, the general rule is, if you're told cos theta is equal to minus root 3 over 2, cos of your reference number is always, if it's positive, keep it as positive, and if it's negative, then you treat it also as positive. Now, can somebody in the class cos inverse 3 over 2, root 3 over 2 for me? $30 degrees. Now guys, so the first angle is going to be 150 and the second answer is going to be 210. You got that? Alright. Now, what I've been told to do, if this was the general thing, okay, if this was an answer that had no limits, here would be my answer. My first set answer would be this. 30 plus 390. 390 would then, what comes out to 390, can anybody tell me? You just keep adding 360 onto it. Because remember, it rotates all the way around and turns back into where 750 after that. Sorry? 1010. Sorry, no, 1110. Now guys, stop here. You're not going to write them all out, are you? Because it doesn't tell you when to stop. So you could write it out like this. 30 degrees plus 360 degrees multiplied by n. What does n stand for? How many revolutions you do. So look at this. Here's my 30 degree angle. Okay? And as I said, oh dear. Sorry guys. Quick slip up there. Excuse me. Sorry guys. I'm not actually using 30 degrees. I'm actually using 50 degrees, 150. So sorry, excuse me guys. The two answers are 150 and 210. That's before we go into the revolutions, okay? So do you see this one here? That's where I'm marking off 150. Now look what happens every single time it goes around. What happens is the clock goes around to 150. Then 360 degrees later it comes back to the same value. Then it rotates again, comes back again. Do you understand? Just keeps rotating and coming back. So what's happening here is this, guys. Okay? What's happening is it's 150. Now what's the second answer? It's going to be 150 plus 3, which is 150 plus 360. And then plus another one? 870. We'll stop there. What about the 210, which is represented in blue? It's the same deal again, isn't it? Because it rotates around, and then it reaches there at 210, and then it keeps going around, and then when does it hit it again? 570. 570. And after 570?
30.
930. Now guys, it just keeps going and going and going. And we can't write them all out. So here's how we'd write it out in degrees mode. Are you listening? We'd write it out like this. It's 150 degrees. And remember, there's a gap of 360 between each one. So it'll be 150. Theta is equal to 150 plus 360 times n. N represents the number of rotations. When n equals 1, it brings you to 510. When n equals 2, it brings you to 870. What about the second answer? It's going to be 210 plus 360 times n. What's the answer when n equals 0? When n equals 0, what's your answer? When n equals 0, what's your answer for theta? 210. When n equals 1, 570, and n equals 2, 930. Now guys, after doing all this, I'm looking at it and going, well, actually, no, my answers are meant to be in radians. How do you change 150 into radians? Divide by 180 and put a pi beside it. So what's it going to be?
5 pi over 6.
5 pi over 6. Now guys, what's 360 degrees in radians? 2 pi. So it's going to be 2 pi or 2n pi, because 2 pi multiplied by n. What about the second one, guys? What's 270 in radians?
By 210.
7 pi over 6 plus 2n pi. So that's our two answers there. Now guys, what they're asking us next is, what is the answers if it's held between 0 and 2 pi? What are those answers when it's held between 0 and 2 pi? Okay, so let's find out. Between 0 and 2 pi, look what happens. Now you have to make sure whatever your answer is, it's not allowed to be above 2 pi. So if I take all this together, that's my first set of answers, and this one here is my second set of answers. Now look what happens. Just draw a line down the middle. Start off with n equals 0. If n equals 0, what's the answer? Okay, if n equals 1, what's 5 pi over 6 plus 2 pi? It's too big, isn't it? Yeah? So that's no good, because it'll be 5 pi plus 6 plus 2n plus 2 pi, because n equals 1, and we already know that this number has to be bigger than 2 pi, so it's not allowed. Okay, what about this answer here? When n equals 0, what's the answer?
7 pi over 6.
And if n equals 1, it's going to be too big. So there's two answers, isn't there? This one here and that one there. I'll obviously do another one of them, yeah? In degrees. Okay. Alright guys.
So what's your final answer?
My answer to part 1 is this one here and this one here. Answer to part 2 is the ones in the purple box. You're not allowed to go above 2 pi. Okay, so look, we'll do another one, guys. Same thing, except it's in degrees. So there will be no major difference. Okay guys, ready? Let's begin. Okay, tan. Now that was just tan theta. This is tan 3 theta, which makes it more difficult, okay? Tan 3 theta equals 1 over root 3. Lads, where is tan positive? All and t. Rule 1 and rule 3. Rule 3 is 180 plus reference equals the angle we're talking about. Okay guys, so let's do this. What is okay, get the reference number. So what's the reference? Tan inverse 1 over root 3. What do we get? Lads, what do we get? 30 degrees. Okay guys, Tan inverse 1 over 3 is 30 degrees, okay? Reference is 30 degrees. What does that make the angle? It's going to be 210 or 30 degrees. Yes? Just give me a second. Okay, I'm getting there. Now guys, what this means is, this means that 3 theta and 3 theta has 2 values. It's going to have the value of 30 degrees and it's going to have the value of 210 degrees. But what did we say about the rotations, guys? What did we say about the rotations? If it's located here, is the first one, and the second one is 210, which is located here. And remember what I told you about, you're going constantly around in a circle. So that's your first one. Then you go on to your second value down here, and then you keep rotating until you're back up here again. So look, starting from the very beginning. First value, second value, third value, fourth value, fifth value, sixth value. So we had to come up with a general formula that works for all of them. So it's going to be 210 degrees plus 360 multiplied by the amount of revolutions we did, correct? And this one's also going to be 30 degrees plus 360 degrees multiplied by the amount of revolutions I did. Now, problem here is it's not theta on its own, it's 3 theta. So divide both sides by 3, and what do we get? Theta equals 10 degrees plus 120 multiplied by n, or theta equals 70 degrees plus 120 degrees times n. Now guys, we're allowed all of the answers between 0 and 360. Let's try n equals 0. When n equals 0, n equals 1, n equals 2, n equals 3. Let's find out what's theta equals it on this side when n equals 0. When n equals 0, it means replace n with 0. 10, oh sorry, 10, yeah. Next one. Next one.
130.
130. After that. 240 plus 10.
260.
No, 240 plus 10, 250. After that. Too big. 370 is too big, isn't it? Because it's over 360, so that's gone. Let's try this side. When n equals 1, theta equals, or sorry, n equals 0. I always start off n equals 0. 70. Next one. 3, was it? 190. After that. 310. After that. Too big. Here's all our answers. If we list them in turn, we're going to get 10, 70, 130. What's it then? 190, 250, 310. Okay guys, let's do another one. Okay. Okay. Lads, same thing except in a radian mode. Okay? Now this is a tough one. Tan 4 theta equals 0. Now guys, where does tan equal 0? We got to figure it out. Now what I do in the calculator is, once again, I'm just going to operate in nothing but degrees at the very start and change it at the end, okay? So, once again, I'm just going to enter in a couple of numbers. Tan 0. Tan 0 is 0. Tan 90, it's always 0 or 90. Mad error. And then finally tan 180 is 0. Okay? So there's 2 places where this happens. Here and here. It happens at 0 degrees and 180. In turn it also happens at 360 and 540 and all the way out. So guys, here's what's happening. Tan 4 theta, this isn't a reference number 1 because it's pretty much already, it's neutral, right? So it's a special type of 1 because there's neutrality, okay? So what you could have said was this: tan reference number equals 0. When you tan inverse 0, you get 0. Now, then you'd be left with A, S, T, and C. Okay? Now guys, sine 180 is 0. So when you're actually on the line, you're neutral. So when you're bang on the money, you're neutral. So your usual quadrants don't work. Okay? So we found out that it's 180 and 360 anyway. So what we're going to find out next is that it works for any rotation. So what we're going to get is 4 theta equals 0 degrees. 4 theta equals 180 degrees. Now what do I have to add on at the end, guys? The number of rotations, because it keeps going around in circles. So look what happens now. Theta therefore is, what can you tell me theta is? 360 divided by 4? 90 multiplied by n. And what about this one here? 45 plus 90 n. Let's find out our answers. Now, did it ask for the general solution? It did ask for the general solution, and I put it in degrees and not radians. So my answer to the first question will be this. My answer to the first question will be theta equals, now what's 90 degrees in radians, lads? 90 degrees in radians?
Half.
It's a half, which is pi over 2. So it's n multiplied by pi over 2. What's the answer for the second one then? What's 45 degrees in radians?
Quarter.
A quarter pi. Well done, Paddy. You seem to know all these off by heart. It's impressive. And what about this one here? 90 degrees? Same thing, isn't it? N pi over 2. That is our answer in radian form, not degrees form, as asked. Now guys, it wants me to find out how many angles are in between 0 and 2 pi. So let's begin. 0 and 2 pi is going to be n equals 0, theta equals 0. N equals 1, theta equals pi over 2. N equals 2, theta equals pi. N equals 3, theta equals 3 pi over 2. N equals 4, theta equals 4 pi over 2, which is, do I have to stop there? Because it's 2 pi. Okay guys, continuing. Let's do the other side now. N equals 0 gets us theta equals, anybody? Pi over 4. N equals 1. What's a quarter plus a half? Anybody? A quarter plus a half? 3 quarters. Okay, what's the next one then? A quarter plus 1. 5 pi over 4. Next one after that? Can anybody see the sequence? 1, 3, 5, 7. And the next one's going to be too big. Why is it too big? It's above 2 pi. Just means too big. So here's our answer. List our answer in order, guys. How do you list the answer in order? What's the very first answer? 0. Pi over 4. What comes after pi over 4?
Pi over 2.
Pi over 2. After that?
3
Pi over 4. After that? Pi. After that?
5 pi over 4.
After that?
3 pi over 2.
After that?
7 pi over 4.
After that?
2 pi.
2 pi. Done. Okay guys, last question of the day. We're just going to let you practice as much as you can. Okay guys. Shh. Next one. Shh. 26. If A is 270, less than A, less than 360, is it possible to find a value for A such that tan A is equal to root 3? Discuss. Okay guys, listen up. Put in here like so. ASTC. This means that the answer has to be a fourth quadrant answer. In the fourth quadrant, only cause is possible, is positive. So the answer is, it's impossible as tan of any angle between 270 less than 360 is negative. How do we know tan is negative here? Because of the rules, ASTC. Alright guys.
At the end.
Yeah.